I was looking at Borners on the internet, and I found a Henry Borner, and it said Joe Junior Borner had passed away, and I said, "Well, I'll bet you anything that's my cousin's." I was always wondering, and so I give Henry a call, and he was so gracious and so wonderful. We chatted back and forth, and I remember he was telling me about his sisters. I didn't even know he had sisters, and so here I gave them a call, and I talked to them, and they were just so gracious and so nice, and we talked about coming back there, and so finally we did, and that had to be, I mean, it was just wonderful. And then when we come on over to Henry's that night, and all the relatives that came around, gosh, there must have been 20, oh, there was 24. Joe counted them.
My phone rang 2 years ago, and this guy says, "I think I'm kin to you." And I didn't even know he existed, really.
There's your dad named Joe? He said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, my dad was Otto, and was there also a Henry and a Charlie and an Edward and a Eugene?" And he said, "We're cousins." And then we got to see Linda play. We went over to her house where they fixed us a wonderful dinner, and we just had so much fun there. And she played the piano for us. She's been playing all of her life, and she's just a wonderfully great piano player. We really enjoyed that. That was wonderful.
Typical Borner?
Huh?
Typical Borner?
A typical one. We were over there when Gene brought over the family tree, and that was so interesting. And I know all the work that he put in, because he had sent things, some of that he had already sent to me. He had he emailed it, and it was so interesting. And my youngest daughter, Susie, she's going to be just thrilled. In fact, right now, I mean, she's been on the phone to my other daughter, wondering when I'm going to get home. Boy, she wants to know about everything. She can't hardly wait. And so did Pam. Henry did all this research, and then him and Linda and Dot and Danny and I went out to the cemetery out there, and we found where my dad was buried, through this really nice guy who worked there, Mike. And my dad didn't have a headstone, so I'm going to call Mike and order one. I want to order a headstone for him. And then there's also, right next to him, he said there was a sister, and I'm not sure which one, but I want to buy her a headstone too. She's a Borner, and she deserves a headstone. And so I want to get together with Mike and get those ordered. And so we visited all the other Borners there in the cemeteries and saw my great grandfather and my grandfather and my uncles and aunts, and that was really a nice day there that we got to go out and be together and witness all that thing. I had no idea. Henry took us down to Heine'ville down there, and he showed us where the old home place was, and that gate. Danny's got pictures of Henry and I. We used to swing on that gate there, and Papa Heine would come out there and chase us off. He said, "Don't swing on that gate." And so the gate is still there. It's the only thing that is there. But we did get to see where the house was. Henry pointed out everything. And then we went down and visited Carly. And he's still down there. That's Uncle Charlie's. And met him and his badge of out there in back, I don't know, 50 barrels of beer cans. And it's just, it's funny out there. And we got to see Papa Heine's old walking stick that he used.
Probably got supper. I see a piece of apple pie down there. Yeah, but,
Then Henry took us over to the Hootenanny, and there was, oh gosh, there must have been about 20 people around there playing, and everybody having a great time. They'd pick out a song, each one, and they'd go around in a circle, and I got to do a couple along with them, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah. And then we went out to a place where they kind of have their Western group, and we went out there and played. And of course, I'm familiar with those convalescent hospitals and rest homes. And yeah, you see one, you've seen them all just about, but they were just tickle pink to see everybody come in there and set up their stuff. And everybody did a song or two, and that was a lot of fun. They took us up to one of the higher points, the mountain there in Little Rock, or outside of Little Rock, somewhere, and I don't even know where we went, but we went up this long road, the top, and the most beautiful home up there. That was Joe's sister and her husband, who's an architect, and they were they're two of the most gracious. Everybody back there is so gracious, and they were so nice to us.
lost my place, so I kind of messed up.
We didn't realize.
What a marvelous piano player she is. She's just wonderful. The last night we were there, it was on a Friday night, we went over to Dot and Harold's house, and my gosh, she fixed the most marvelous Mexican food. Finally, when the evening wound down, we're getting ready to go and say our goodbyes. Out comes Linda with these two shirts that Danny and I had been looking to get. We couldn't find the zip-up kind with the hoods, with Arkansas and the hog on it. And here she comes out with two of them for us, and they gave them to us as going away mementos.
The reason why I want to read it is not because I wrote it, but it'll kind of share with you and Dan our family and how our family has been through the years. And I hope I can read it. But anyway, when I read it, my brother Joe was sitting right there, and he bursted out crying. And it meant so much to him, and I was so thankful that I listened to God's voice to tell me to go ahead and to do this and not to just keep putting it off. So I've named it My Memories, and this will let you know how our family has been through the years. For some time now, I have been wanting to share with you memories I have of our family. I am blessed to have been placed in a family of love and faithfulness, and to have parents that loved us all. Never a day did I doubt that our mom and dad loved me. We learned from them that relationships were more important than differences in opinion or any offense we may feel. Holding on to grudges was never an option to them, and they passed that on to us. It is a blessing that there has never been a conflict between us that hurt our love for each other. I remember taking showers in an outside shower built to catch rainwater in a big barrel, and that was built by Henry, by the way. Linda and I sleeping together in a big feather blanket to keep us warm because there was no central heat in our house on Memphis Highway. The memory of my two big brothers telling stories about how proud they were the night I was born, and of course, who could forget Sunday dinners at Mom and Dad's. The time we spent together afterwards, talking over issues of the day, Henry telling funny stories that would keep us in stitches, and listening to Joe, Sissy, Henry, and Mary harmonizing together, singing hymns of faith, memories that I will always cherish. I remember at 13 asking to be called Dot because I thought Dottie was just too childish, and you agreeing to do it to please me. I remember Christmas Eve hearing Santa outside and Joe and Henry rushing Linda and I to our room. Then Santa would come to our door and talk to us. As I got older, you were there when difficulties came, to be my support and to love me. Brothers who I knew would come to my defense, a sister to listen when I needed to pour out my heart, a sister to pray for me. You were there during my most joyous times, my marriage to the love of my life, Harold, the birth of my children, both gifts from God. You were there when I finished nursing school, when my grandchildren were born. You were as proud as Punch, whether they realize it or not. The same love and concern you have felt for me, you have felt for them, and I am grateful. There are so many memories, it would take a book to write them all, but here are a few. Joe coming over to fix my cord for my Christmas lights one year. We could all share how our brother Joe had been there to help us one way or another. Henry's ability to lift spirits with humor and a tender heart. Linda known for her music ability, and yet more importantly for a sister who has been there for me so many times and in so many ways. The most important memory passed down for me and for each of us children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren is Mom and Dad's faith in God. That legacy is a glue that has bonded us through the years and strengthened our hearts to go on when times come that were hard. That faith will continue to give us strength until we see Mom and Dad once again. I am blessed to know no matter what comes to me, I know without a doubt you will be there for me. This is the way it has always been our family. I have friends who have said they wish they had a family like mine. I am truly blessed. For the past 59 years, I have been with you at Christmas Eve. It is more than just a tradition. It is a family being together, passing on a legacy given to me by parents and passing it on to our children and grandchildren. To them, I say, learn from our example the importance of family. Love, forgiveness, and faith in God. I love each of you for so many reasons, but most of all for being you.
Oh, wow.
And I was so glad.
Beautiful. That was beautiful.
I'm Dottie Walden, and I'm Uncle Joe and Aunt Eula's daughter. And we are been so happy to have Dan and Bob with us. And we didn't know about these two guys until about a couple years ago. Isn't that right, Henry?
That's right.
And we had heard about Uncle Otto all of our lives, but we didn't know him. All we knew was that he had died in a well, cleaning a well out, and that's just about all we knew. Linda, do you remember anything else?
Well, I just remember as a child, Daddy talked frequently about his brother Otto, and he had a little corner cabinet in his bedroom, and he told me many times about how Uncle Otto had made that and had given it to my mother and Daddy as a wedding present, and so it was real special to him. And I remember asking him one day if I could have it when he decided that he didn't want it anymore, and so he gave it to me. And I have it in my house today. And I just like to say what Dot said. It's been such a joy to get to visit with Dan and Bob. We just feel so blessed that Dan took the initiative to find us. And it's amazing to me that even though we didn't know each other, we feel like family with them. And it's amazing to me that I can see so many characteristics of our family with Bob and Dan. So we have thoroughly enjoyed it, and we love y'all.
And we're looking forward to getting to meet the rest of our family, our California family. We feel like this is just the beginning, and we're just so grateful that God brought this about.
Well, what can I say? It's been such a pleasure to have Dan and Bob here with us. I'm Henry Borner, and I'm the patriarch of the family. Now I'm the oldest, even slightly older than Bob, which still makes me a little bit over him. So it's just been so good to have these guys. Bob and I have become so close in this 1 week. It's as if we were brothers rather than cousins, and I just cherish the memories that I've had with these guys, and I hope they go home and get all you rest of you Borners all keyed up, and you want to come to see us too, and we'll have a great time that we've had this week. So all of you take care. It's a pleasure to be kin to every one of you, and we love you and hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Just an old song, keep Georgia on my mind. See, Georgia, see, Georgia. I see the road lead back to you, Georgia.